Productivity is a pathway to prosperity. And so today on Jamaica Magazine, we're pushing the productivity agenda. I'm Audrey Williams. Coming up, plans to enhance the growth agenda through labor market reform. We get the scoop from our Minister of Labor and Social Security. Plus, tips on some important habits to avoid on the job. That's coming up in Career Talk. Let's get into the program, starting with Stacey Ann Smith at the news desk.
Good day, I'm Stacey Ann Smith, and this is your GIS News for Tuesday, June 10. $389 million is to be spent to build sewage treatment plants at 6 health facilities across the island. Financed by the National Health Fund, systems will be installed at the Fellowship and Ulster Spring Health Centres, as well as the Savlamar, Percy Juna and Princess Margaret Hospitals. The Noel Holmes Hospital and Lucy Health Centre, located on the same compound, will share a system. Their wastewater systems will be improved using anaerobic digestion technology developed by the Scientific Research Council, which is responsible for designing, constructing and commissioning the systems.
It must be seen as a practical demonstration of cost-effective application technology to add value to the lives of our people while protecting and enriching the environment.
In a real way, we are very clear about the kind of diseases that can emerge in circumstances where sewage is not properly taken care of.
All the sewage treatment systems are expected to be completed within budget. Energy Minister Philip Paulwell is asserting that Jamaica will lead the region in the use of renewable energy sources by mid-2015. While speaking recently at the ATL Panasonic Energy Forum, Minister Paulwell said the country was making good progress, especially in the use of solar, hydropower and wind energy.
There will be no other country that can match Jamaica next year when, in addition to the 40 or so megawatts of wind that we now generate, plus about 20 megawatts of hydropower, we are going to be introducing 78 additional megawatts of the massive solar facility in the Caribbean, 24 megawatts, and the 2 additional wind facilities in Jamaica.
He said 3 bidders had been selected for the newest renewable energy projects. WRB Enterprises is proposing to supply 20 megawatts of capacity from solar PV from facilities in Content Village, Clarendon. Meanwhile, both Blue Mountain Renewables and Wigton Wind Farm are to produce a combined 58 megawatts of capacity from wind power in St. Elizabeth and Manchester. Minister Paulwell said he was soon to receive recommendations for those licenses from the Office of Utilities Regulation, while the power purchase agreements would be finalized shortly. Jamaican farmers and food processors are among over 28,000 in 8 Caribbean countries who will be assisted by the Canadian Hunger Foundation, the CHF, over the next 6 years. The promotion of regional opportunities for produce through Enterprises and Linkages Propel project will expose the farmers to markets that can take up to $10 billion worth of produce and products. The aim is to significantly reduce food imports within the Caribbean and increase access to external markets. Pointing to local success with Irish potato, Agriculture Minister Roger Clark says the Propel project complements the ministry's mandate to ensure Jamaica's food security.
Through this program with Propel, we hear that some 3,000 farmers by 2050 will be getting training. We want you to accelerate that as best as you can, because with the Irish potato, we expect that by 2015 we will be self-sufficient in table potatoes.
The project will also provide targeted support for an additional 1,500 young entrepreneurs to either undertake farming or agro-processing businesses. As the graduation season approaches, the Ministry of Education is appealing to schools to make the functions as conservative as possible. Chief Education Officer Dr. Grace McLean has asserted that school leaving exercises do not need to be exorbitant.
Graduation, while it is important as a feel-good exercise, it is not a part of the curriculum. It is not a stepping stone for the students to go anywhere else. We are asking schools to try to work out the arrangement where the students can graduate in their uniforms.
Dr. McLean was speaking at a GIS think tank last Friday. And finally, Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites has called on the nation's fathers to play a greater role in the lives of their children. The minister was speaking at the recent Thanksgiving service for twin boys Brandon and Braden Jones, who were tragically swept away by floodwaters in the Montego Bay Green Pond Gully on their way from school. While offering deepest condolences to the boys' family, the minister took the opportunity to remind fathers that children needed their influence in order to become disciplined students.
Even if your pocket is broke, stay close to your baby mother, to your wife, and to your children. Absentee fatherhood is pulling down Jamaica, and no matter how much money we'll get, it won't solve our problems. We won't be able to take advantage of anything unless we restore family life to its proper order.
And that's it for GIS News Today. I'm Stacey Ann Smith. Thank you for watching.
We want a productive Jamaica. We are not productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, pathway to prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Government is on a mission to ensure the Jamaican workforce becomes more responsive, competitive and productive with world-class training and certification. Labour market reform is critical to achieving this goal, and the government is actively pursuing measures to bring about the needed transformation. Labour and Social Security Minister Derek Kelleher spoke to this and other goals as he made his contribution to the sectoral debate in Parliament recently. Here are the highlights.
Flexi Work Bill to be debated by September. Labour laws to be amended as part of the labour market reform program, and initiatives underway to further include vulnerable persons in the labour market. Top priorities for the Ministry of Labour and Social Security in the 2014-2015 financial year. It's all about growing the economy by transforming the labour market and boosting productivity. The government has recognized that productivity is essential to Jamaica's prosperity, and for that reason, the Jamaica Productivity Center and other stakeholders are implementing strategies to increase the output per worker so that the economy can continue to expand. To complement those efforts, the Employment Flexible Work Arrangements Miscellaneous Provisions Bill will be debated in Parliament in September, paving the way for employers and employees to restructure daily work hours to boost employment and improve productivity levels.
All 7 days of the week should be considered as possible normal working days, and that overtime should be earned after the worker has completed 40 hours.
Businesses are, however, reminded that flexible work arrangements are not mandatory.
We are saying that the new piece of legislation will be so structured so as to give employers the option to examine their establishments to determine whether flexible work arrangements will be beneficial to the organization.
4 other pieces of legislation will also be amended. And the Labour Market Reform Commission is also being proposed.
This Labour Market Reform Commission, Mr. Speaker, will be tasked with conducting consultations with the relevant stakeholders relating to education and training, technology and innovation, labor policies and legislation, social protection, industrial relations and productivity.
The major findings and recommendations from the consultations will formulate future legislative amendments and influence different policies and programs. The Ministry of Labour is also pursuing other initiatives to increase employment levels. 450 new jobs are expected from the National Insurance Fund's investment in a cement plant. With a value of $67.5 billion as at March 2014, the fund is lending money to the Development Bank of Jamaica (DBJ) for on-lending to small and medium-sized entities. This is being done through a $1.5 billion loan program.
The fund will go further in the 2014-15 financial year and target 3 entities and groups where the need for financing remains largely underserved, namely the creative industries, persons with disabilities, and the youth.
The long-standing farm work program in Canada and the United States will also continue. A pre-selection exercise is scheduled from July 7 to 28. Suitable candidates should fill out the application form and provide the required documents by Monday, June 16. The Jamaica Employer program will also be expanded, following the revamping of the electronic labor exchange platform to match highly skilled and professional job seekers with prospective employees. A number of steps are also being undertaken to ensure that vulnerable persons are part of the labor market reform program. Among them, the passage of the National Disabilities Bill, which was tabled in May.
The bill will seek to promote, protect and ensure the full and equal employment of persons with disabilities, of privileges, interests, benefits and treatment on an equal basis with other persons in the community.
$67 million in grant funding has also been provided by the World Bank's Japanese Development Fund to prepare persons with disabilities for the labor market. The Inter-American Development Bank will also provide $15 million in grant funding to strengthen the capacity of the Jamaica Council of Persons with Disabilities. 300 disabled persons in the 18 to 36 age group are also set to benefit from skills development training. Initiatives are also underway to ensure that adults from poor families move from welfare assistance to self-reliance. Over the next 2 years, the $600 million Welfare to Work program will provide training and employment opportunities for 2,000 individuals. The short-term poverty intervention project will also continue following a $75 million allocation in the budget. 6,000 persons will be able to improve their eating habits and housing conditions and start small income-generating projects.
The government of Jamaica and the Most Honorable Prime Minister has insisted that another $75 million be made available in this year's budget to assist an additional 6,000 persons.
An additional $139 million has also been budgeted to assist about 7,000 families to improve their living conditions. The Ministry of Labor and Social Security, promoting labor market reform to boost productivity, a gateway to economic prosperity.
A healthy and educated people living in a clean, natural environment, reducing crime, improving the justice system and governance, building a prosperous economy. It's not just a vision, it's reality. Learn about the plan. Join the vision.
My country, Jamaica, has a rich heritage and is very unique. If we all pull together, we can make it the place of choice to
live, work, raise family, and to do business.
For more information on Vision 2030, call the Planning Institute of Jamaica or visit vision2030.gov.jm, your parish library, school library, or the Jamaica Information Service.
Office gossip is bad business for more reasons than one. It's divisive and hurtful, not to mention the effect it can have on productivity. So if you're tempted to gossip, don't. Watch now as we share some other workplace no-nos.
Mastering workplace communication, even for communications officers, can be a challenge. And the right thing to say often comes down to who says it, how it's said, to whom it's said, and when it's said. But a trip online recently uncovered some interesting tips on a few office discussion no-nos that are at least worth considering.
I can't take on any more work right now. I'm completely overwhelmed.
Now, it could be true and you are overwhelmed, but here's another truth. Companies want problem solvers, not people who cry defeat at the assignment of every new task. So try saying something like, let's look at my project list and see where we can work this in. It might mean moving something else to a later date. Remember, in a world of economic restraint and corporate downsizing, multitasking must be in your skills basket.
Oh, yeah. Listen, Joe is an idiot.
Substitute the name and you could probably find a few people who fit this phrase. Just don't say it in the office. Why not? Well, it's rude. That person could be your boss someday. And statements like those don't build trust and can prove disruptive to the office environment.
Bossy, what you say? That's not fair.
So, what's not fair? The person sitting across from you earns more to do the same job? Well, maybe they do it better than you. Life's not fair. Employment's not fair. Get over it and get moving. Upgrade yourself, know and demand your worth, and don't begrudge others for doing what you didn't have the skills, work ethic, foresight, or just good luck to achieve.
You sure that's the best way? That's not how we used to do it at my old company, and we always got it right.
So why aren't you still there? That's what your colleagues are likely to ask once you utter a statement like this. It smacks of arrogance and a refusal to try or learn new things.
The report, I'll have it on your desk by 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m. today.
If you don't plan to do it, don't say it. That little untruth could delay or frustrate someone else's work plan or your company's production output. Of course, when you do seriously plan and miss a deadline anyway, give as much advance notice as possible.
I'm bored.
Likely responses: anger from your overworked colleague, disdain from the one who thinks you're a slacker, and well, your boss is likely to question why you're getting a paycheck this month. Next time your work pile looks thin, be innovative and find new projects to pursue. It could be the stuff of promotions and bonuses.
As we work on increasing productivity, it's also important to be prepared for the unexpected. By now, you should be aware that we're in the 2014 Atlantic hurricane season, and we know exactly what that means. So today, we're looking at the all-important hurricane kit. Do you know what should be in yours?
Food, water, because you know water get contaminated during this time and so forth. Try at least to get at least minimum stuff that you can get for to last you at least a week.
One of the things I would look at is like a generator. Get that ready, because you know when hurricane hits, no power.
Hurricane season coming up, you got to have like food, flashlight, batteries, and all those stuff. Those are really necessary.
Candles, medication. You have like personal, you have to have that, batteries, you know, and important documents.
Candles and batteries for your flashlight and those stuff, and if you have a radio, that'll be a good, because you know, your battery will be good for your radio so you can keep up with the news.
Flashlight, battery, water containers to store water, canned food, medical supplies, because if you're sick, you know, you have a certain illness, you should make sure you have enough medication.
When hurricane season, well, like people prepare like them food, them matches, them lamp, them kerosene oil.
An unexpected natural or man-made catastrophe. Disasters almost always have a negative impact on people, goods, and services. They may also permanently change the natural environment. A disaster can seriously disrupt how society functions, causing widespread human, material, or environmental losses. It usually exceeds society's ability to cope using its own resources. There are two main types of disasters: natural and man-made. Natural disasters include earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, landslides, and droughts. Flooding can also be man-made. Other man-made disasters include fires, chemical spills, and transportation accidents.
Damage by disasters is sometimes immeasurable and may vary depending on the geographical location, climate, soil type, and degree of vulnerability.
In addition to physical impact, disasters may have an economic or psychological effect. Physical effects include death, injury, food scarcity, homelessness, disease outbreak, and the displacement of the population. The economic effects of disasters may include destruction of crops, destruction of property, disruption of production, and a setback to economic development programs. The psychological effect of disasters may include the loss of spirit and low morale among citizens, the trauma of displacement, and the loss of faith in the future. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, says there are several factors contributing to the risk of disasters in Jamaica.
We have to start with development, where we cite development and the enforcement of development. Lack of management of the space, where we have housing in relation to where we have environmentally sensitive areas. That can lead to disasters. Also, if you don't have proper mitigation infrastructure to reduce or to prevent the effects of the hazards, natural or man-made, on the environment and on people, then we have disasters occurring. Waste management. If we continue to dump into our waterways, into our drainage ways, if we don't maintain our drainage infrastructure, then we could have a disaster occurring on our hands.
Over the years, disasters have caused billions of dollars in losses, especially in the agriculture sector.
So how can we minimize the impact of disasters on life and property? Effective disaster management.
Disaster management is a process or strategy that is implemented when any type of catastrophic event takes place. It involves the management of both the risk and consequences of an event. Disaster management may be initiated when anything threatens to disrupt normal operations or puts the lives of human beings at risk. The main purpose being to allow those affected to overcome adverse effects and return to normal functions as quickly as possible. There are several stages of disaster management.
You have the preparedness, mitigation or prevention, response, and early recovery. In the preparedness phase, you want to do all of your training, capacity building, both of the local actors, the community actors, all the way up to the business sector and government. Mitigation is the second along the line, depending on where you start. And in mitigating, you're looking at putting in measures to prevent or to reduce the effects of the hazards on man and man's environment. If you fail to do all of the other things and do them well, then you're going to have responses to have to mount to the impact of these events. And so you're talking about your search and rescue, your emergency sheltering, your relocation issues during an event, so to speak, i.e. evacuation. All of that takes place in your response. And then you have your early recovery, which is after the event, after the impact, after the relief operations. You now begin to recover the systems, replace the impacted infrastructure and housing, and to get livelihoods up and running again, get people back to productive life.
It keeps our bodies working, our food nutritious, our living and working spaces clean, and our lives comfortable. Water, the most precious resource necessary for the sustenance of life on our planet. Don't waste it. Let's conserve on this critical commodity. In the house, invest in storage containers and buckets. Take quick showers instead of long baths, and invest in water-efficient shower heads, toilets, and faucets. You may also want to consider one-pot meals and cooking methods that don't require much water. You could also wash fruits and vegetables in a bowl and reuse the water on your plants or grass. When cleaning dishes, fill both sinks and use one for washing and the other for rinsing. The leftover water can be used to wash off the concrete or asphalt in your yard. If you must wash your car at home, aim for once a fortnight and use a bucket to do the washing instead of running the hose. Don't delay. Start your water conservation practices today.
What are you doing to help the fight against crime?
Sitting on the corner, minding your own business, definitely not going to work.
It is time for us to unite.
Unite.
Unite for change.
Citizens coming together to make their respective communities safer. The police, schools, public health, business, churches, NGOs, parents and neighborhood watch volunteers.
As we, the police, do our job,
We as citizens need to do our part as well.
Report crimes or even suspicious activities.
Let's all work together
As one united front against crime.
and make Jamaica the place of choice to
live, work, raise families, and do business.
Unite for Change, an initiative of the Ministry of National Security.
Success is the progressive realization of worthwhile, predetermined personal goals. So says Paul J. Mayer, founder of the Success Motivation Institute. And we use those empowering words to close the pages of today's magazine. Share your feedback with us by emailing jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm and stay in the know by visiting jis.gov.jm. Facebook and Twitter also provide useful platforms for your views, questions, and ideas. Remember, productivity is everybody's business. On behalf of the entire production team here at the JIS, I'm Audrey Williams. Till next time, take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.